Hello, Valtopia. Happy Friday. I know it's the Friday before American Thanksgiving, so I thought I'd come on and do a little fun Freestyle Friday. Welcome to Valtopia TV. I'm Val Cripps. I am an artist. I'm an energy master. I have been teaching people to move their energy. It's hard for me to say that, energy master. I have so much respect for spiritual expansion and understanding energy. But let me tell you, for the last few years and for my life, I've been modulating frequencies, and frequencies are how we heal. And I've been experiencing incredible healing and expansion for myself and my clients through my own just vibrations. So come and join us tonight. I'm going to bring through some vibrations. Hey, Debbie, I've got my creative question cards. And I want to talk to you about your hidden genius, because just like me, I spent so many years of my life following my painting and creating music and working in the movies as an artist. And then all of a sudden now I have this whole business and expansion in my life with my clients, with super genius that was coming through me all my whole life, and I didn't know, and I wasn't effectuating the magic the way I am now. Chances are, if you're watching me, if you follow me, if you're lit up by the magic of creation, it's inside of you, and you're inspired by what you see inside of me, where I found my genius and opened up to my creativity. I was already a super creative person, and I already had an incredible career success working on Oscar-winning movies, and then I've opened up to this whole other experience where I get to work with incredibly talented, creative, genius business owners who are finding out what their genius is and opening up to their inherent natural creativity, their gifts, their awarenesses, their ideas, their feelings, and parts of themselves that have been suppressed that are now coming up for integration. Integration meaning there's hidden parts of you that you think aren't there, and that when you do this work of tuning into them and bringing them forward, you begin to connect into yourself in such a different way. And that's what happened for me. I went from having a whole set of beliefs and ideas around who I am and how things work. Hi, Elizabeth, and what I could and couldn't have, and how my life could be or couldn't be. And I've shifted completely paradigms several times over, and I keep going. And I had done that before I woke up spiritually, but and I want to say, I lived a lot of places in my life where religion was very exclusive, and if you weren't part of the religion of the place, you would feel left out, and that's what I experienced in terms of religious energy. And I never identified as a spiritual person because I had seen all this from a young age, injustice and discrimination through people that I had met who were very religious. And I didn't really understand what it meant to be spiritual. And so for me, I like to say magic or creativity or your genius, because that's what we're talking about. We're just talking about parts of you that are already there, that are already part of you, that maybe you experienced as a kid, or you've experienced in certain times of your life, or maybe they're just coming online now. And we'll talk about what that is. And you know that you're meant to tune into it more, but you don't know how. Or you're not quite sure how to, or maybe you're already deep into it, but it's a secret. It's a secret that you do by yourself, or you just take little classes for yourself, but you don't actually incorporate it into your life. Your family might know, and your close friends might know about your gifts, but your business doesn't know, and your online presence doesn't know. And there's part of you that feels really split because you don't get to show that part of you. Maybe you feel like Elsa, right? Maybe you feel like Elsa and you want to close those powers off so you don't hurt anybody, and you don't hurt yourself, and you don't get hurt for the gifts that you have. And just like Elsa, you need a place to feel safe and open up to those special super awarenesses or gifts or knowing or ideas or visions or connections or whatever, however it's coming through for you. You don't want to be afraid like Elsa and hide yourself away and then accidentally like almost kill your sister, like you get to find out what your superpower is, what your super genius is, and turn it on and play with it and activate it and bring it into your business so that you're so much more efficient and you connect so much more rapidly into who you want to work with, and then you make that much more money. That's the idea. And that is what's happened for me on many levels. And I've learned so much about where I've suppressed parts of myself that as I open it up, things begin to open up. So who's here with me? Don't even have my laptop on, and I didn't share to my page or anything. And so we're just right here in the Valtopia sphere on my business page here. And I've got my question cards. I'm going to pull a question card, and I'm going to riff on the question card. If you would like to get a question card and could have this interaction with me, then share the live stream, like my business page, and say hello, and I'll pull a question and we'll see where we go with this. And do you integrate your gifts? Hi, Lori Lee. Do you integrate your gifts into your business? Are you a business owner making 10, 15K a month and wanting to, it's kind of scary to mess with something that's working when you're being guided deeply and you kind of don't know how to do it. I've worked with a lot of business owners who have to go through this transition and talk to a lot of people in terms of opening. First of all, when you come into my activations and the work that we do, thank you, Lori. Hi, Danielle. Your third eye begins to open, your awarenesses begin to open, and parts of yourself that may have been shut down begin to open, and it gives you access to so much more of yourself. So Lori Lee, I'm going to pull a question card here first to give us an idea, to spark a conversation, and then I'll do a card for Lori Lee. Let's see what the whole collective message is here. And so for me, I didn't know that I was psychic and clairsentient and highly empathic until a few years ago. I had no idea. But those parts of me, once I started learning, I was like, oh, that's claircognizance. Oh, that's clairsentience. Oh, and that's what I find with a lot of my clients who have been studying and they think that they don't have access to their intuition, or because they're very logical. They're very logical and analytical and left-brained. And they think, like, I'm the opposite, right? I'm super creative, super intuitive. It streams through. And I think that I really suck at logical left brain stuff. But we have to come into a combination of all of ourselves in order to bring the magic down to the earth. Or, if we're just stuck in our systems and strategies of doing stuff and we're not connected into our inspiration, there's an imbalance that happens and we can feel it, right? So I'm working with people currently in Overflow who are super logical and left-brained, but they feel that pull to tune into the other side of themselves and integrate that into their business, into their way of being. And it's a series of, it's shifting perceptions and beliefs around what you think you can and can't have and do and think and be and experience. Sometimes people are blocked by religious and spiritual upbringing or political like cultural beliefs. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So the card that came through is, why am I attractive? Why am I attractive? Thank you, Danielle. And, this is the number one, after we get clear of these, I like to think of it like we're plugged into a bunch of programs. Our receptors in our mind are plugged into ideas, beliefs, conditions. And when we pull the plug on that, it's like you're changing an addiction, right? You're pulling yourself off of an addiction. And for many people, depending on how plugged in you are to a bunch of stuff, if you're really plugged in deeply to a lot, hey, Lauren, then you find yourself feeling that discomfort of leaving something behind. And if you've never known how to use those parts of yourself, then that can feel really difficult, and you can really judge yourself, and you can stop yourself from having access to your own tools that are there for you that would create so much more of a potent version of yourself, where parts of you aren't feeling guilty and shameful for being, and you get to tap into that energy of yourself. So, Lori Lee, the card I got for you is, why am I grateful? Why am I grateful? Elizabeth says, I love Jesus, and many times odors find it so weird. I think you said something fine. I don't know what you said. Sorry. Lori, why am I grateful? Why am I grateful? So, I feel some energy in my solar plexus. So I'm just, I'm a channel. And when I feel other people's things, energy, places in your energy being where there's emotions and things that you're plugged into, my automatic reaction and my shamama skills is to unplug myself from feeling that resonance, and then you mirror that in your feeling of me. So this solar plexus that I'm feeling is all of the different energy centers are give you a clue as to where you might be feeling resistance to your desires. And a lot of times when we feel that resistance, we think it's a sign that we don't get to have that, or that we shouldn't use that. And so know that the resistance is not a sign that you don't get to tune into your gifts, or that you're not meant to use them. I was talking with someone last week who tried some new skills in order to manifest, and it was working, but as it was working, her body was having a very fearful response, a lot of pain and distress. Just because you feel pain and distress does not mean you need to stop and go into the light. You have to move through the darkness and your own pain and resistance to what you want to stretch into what you want. So, sorry, I was reading Lauren's comments. Your energy is shifting. You would prefer the caps lock. I don't know what you guys are talking about tonight. What is going on? If you'd love to, so we're having this discussion. Hey, Keisha, about, I was just describing how when we try to up level or move into another space of being, we can have a physical response in our body that feels alarming, or that makes us feel like we're not supposed to go in that direction. Or we don't want to deal with having to go through that. Or we may not be getting the result financially that we desire for something that we want. And we think that that's a sign that we're not meant to have it. But, that's not the truth. And I've pushed through so many places where I thought I couldn't do something in support and without support. When I was younger and I wanted to work in the film business, I remember when I first sent resumes here to Los Angeles from Mississippi. And I sent all these resumes off, and I went back to bed for the rest of the day because I felt so weird and strange sending my information. It was so far beyond where I was at that point that it felt so scary, and it terrified me. And of course, this was back in the 90s, so everything wasn't so immediate. So I would send the letter, and it was going to take like a week for the letter to get there and for them to respond. And I just literally crawled back in bed, but I did it anyway, right? Or even when I was a foreign exchange student, I went to be a foreign exchange student in high school and lived with a family I didn't know for a year. You can bet your ass that was scary as fuck, but I did it, and I got through the experience and grew because of it. And so for those of you that I'm looking to work with now, you might feel like it's impossible, or you might see what's around you and think, how do I get past this? That's why you're signing up to work with me. We're going to deal with that. When my clients are feeling that resistance, the difference between me and another guide is that I'm actually going to drill in there with you energetically and feel it with you and understand. We talk about what it is. We bring through healing and energy frequencies that shift the resistance, but let you see what it's for so you can clearly follow your desires and come into what it is that you're being called to. I am super passionate about what I do, and I'm stepping into more and more leadership for myself and for my clients, and boundaries and standards, soul right standards, which means that if my client is coming to me, before in the past I would have just been working with the energetics and the magic of things. Now I'm looking at your business. I'm looking at your business. We're looking at if you're having a business run a certain way and you need to open it up to your creativity, which is why you're coming to me, well, you bet your ass we're going to look at your offers and who you're talking to and your messaging and what's coming through for you. And we're looking at it from an energetic standpoint and a place of mindset, and seeing, I'm right in there with you, seeing where your throat is tight and your solar plexus is aching and you're not knowing how to move the energy and where you're spinning your wheels and where you're sabotaging. The investment that you begin with me starts right away when you tune into that, when I tune in with you. You're no longer alone. This is not an investment in a like, I'm going to go sit in this class and feel guilty and not go through and do these damn PDFs and videos I got to do. No, this is like, all right, what are we doing? What's going on? What do we desire? What are our intentions? And then we look right now at your energy body and your patterns and what's happening for you and how we can, what are we going to do to bring in the resonance and connection to yourself and the kind of clients you want and the kind of experience you want in your life and the kind of lovers you want in your life, or whatever it is that you're being called to. We look at it and we look at why you think you can't have it, and we feel why you think you can't have it. And we understand the deep-rooted patterns and we shift them and we become a different person, the person that you're being called to be, right? Hey, Samantha. Hey, Wendy. Let me see what these comments. Lauren says you're working on recording videos and it's a joke. Okay. Shift caps lock. Okay. And Lori has had some physical responses. Lori, what are your physical responses? All right. So the next card that came up, which was for, thank you, Danielle, for sharing the live stream, is why do I deserve what I want? Why do I deserve what I want? Who has a problem with this question? Or like, who has resistance to deserving what you want? Who has? Who is working on their feeling of worthiness of what they desire? And who feels like, I know I'm meant to get this. I will get this. I'm a baller. It's coming in. And how can I lean into it more deeply is the question that wanted to come through. Keisha, I know, right? Why do I deserve what I want? We are deserving because we're being called to it. And I had a real hard time with this in the beginning too, of feeling guilty or of leaving people behind or of like, you know, when I was taking care of myself the first year, going to the beach and doing this energy work, I realized that I was really taxing my own life force because I wasn't honoring my boundaries. There were things I had to learn about being a channel. That's what happens with this work. And your deservability comes from you understanding that you're a vessel for the divine frequency that comes through you, as in your genius and brilliance will be much more effective and powerful and illuminated as you do the work of clearing your attachment to who you were and let yourself evolve into who you are after you've no longer been layered down and confused and guilt-ridden and obligated by other people's stuff that isn't your truth. You feel me on this? Spiritual dogma, religious programming, government and political upbringing, cultural patterns, stuff you learned from your parents, stuff that's in your DNA from your past lives as witches and priests and wizards, and you got killed for it and you know it and you're like, I can't do that. I'm going to die if I do that. There are all these messages that we get to tune into and become aware of and shift so that we can be the person that we did actually decide. And I do believe we choose to come and be exactly who we are, and that these experiences are here to shape us. And we do know our desires, and the resistance is just a key to what we're actually being called to. You feel me on this? All right, let me see these comments. Lori had sinus issues and yeah, that's good. That's the release. You know, when you evolve, you need to release the matter to become something else. And people get freaked out by that. And it's because, you know, first of all, we need to take much better care of ourselves. As my first year of doing this energy work, I was sick all the time, Lori, with sinus and gas stuff, and it was bad. I was sick a lot. It's like all those old parts of you, especially if you've been repressed and holding back, needs to come out somehow and evolve. And you'll find as you go further in your journey, the more clean you can eat and the more fitness you have and the more rest and the more that you care for your vessel and your cells and your body and being, not only from a mind perspective, but what are you nourishing yourself with and how are you taking care of yourself, that gets easier. And if any of you need to know a beautiful nutritional supplement that will rock your world and let you glow like I do, private message me. I love my product that I've been having since September. You can go back and watch videos of me this summer and then see when I started taking it in September. I have shifted tremendously and all of my up levels have gotten much more consistently smooth and easier because of the nutrition that I'm having. Lauren says, the biggest thing holding me back is trying to keep my life simple instead of just accepting that my life is complex. My life is complex. If I deny that, then I deny my potential. Deep shit, Lauren. Yes. Keisha says, yup. Lori says, yes. Okay. All right. So I don't think anybody else asked for a question card. Did anybody else share or want to have a question card and a comment thread go in relation to the card that gets pulled, inspired by your frequency? Please share and like my business page. Danielle says, I think I'm extremely empathic. My anxiety has been insane lately. I think I'm being bogged down by all of it, maybe. Okay, so you may feel that way. And I'm highly empathic, and I work with a lot of sensitive empaths. And the thing is that's part of the work that you do when you come into one-to-one with me, is learning to discern energy and learning to move energy through your body. And it sounds really simple, and essentially it is. But for many of you, without the support of a guide, you don't figure out how to do it by yourself, and you get blocked. You literally get blocked, or you get overrun by other people's stuff, and you need to learn how to manage it. You totally can manage it, and when you do the work of defining and discerning your own energy versus others, and how to move energy through your body, and how to let the frequencies come through you in a healing and powerfully activating way, because of your taking your care of yourself and opening up to it and moving through your own resistance to letting that happen, you will find that it is a superpower and it is a beautiful gift. And it requires a maintenance and a devotion to who you are and why that's coming through you, why you're picking up on the awareness of others versus yourself. And the anxiety lately is probably because of the cosmic shift we've been having, which has been here to remind us of parts of ourselves that had gone dark, parts of ourselves that were buried deep, parts of ourselves that were ignored, denied, suppressed. For me, it was a lot of inner child stuff, probably for many of you. Inner child meaning identity within us from when we were kids, where we decide this is how things work and this is what it means. When you're a kid, you don't have the perception to understand things that happen to you, and you create a story in your mind. And the anxiety comes from a combination of not knowing how to assess what you're feeling, or like a lot of my clients, and this is how I was when I started, I had learned to survive so well and do like I'm a high achieving person, which is what my clients are, high achieving, really accomplished people. And we learn to suppress our gift to survive and do well. We want to do well. We're high achievers. We like to, we're perfectionists in the sense that we were dependable and we're responsible, and we like to come through with what we do. And what we find ourselves doing is suppressing our feelings and our emotions to keep face, and to keep our responsibilities going. And what happens is we are completely blocking a whole aspect of our gifts. Hello, Della. And our being that we need to address. And so this cosmic weather was here to sort of say, hey, snap out of it. Look at this, and look at this, and look at this. Do you see all this uncomfortable shit that you haven't dealt with, that you're no longer going to be available for? And so you're being invited to look at your boundaries, to look at your soul standards, to look at your beliefs, to look at your expectations for yourself. No matter what's happening on the outside, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to believe about yourself? What are you going to decide, and with no other availability than what you've decided to come into alignment with for yourself, right? So what does this say? Lori's going to message me on nutritional. Great. Keisha says inner child work for sure this week. Feeling grief and my stomach just hurts. Yeah, I could feel that solar plexus. You've got to learn to move that energy through and down through you, and keep looking towards what you do desire to bring into creation, and shift, your mindset into what is coming rather than what was, and seeing the parts of you that have been ignored or denied or suppressed, and listening to them, and it's like you're integrating them, because that part of you that you think doesn't work so well, or that isn't really your strong point, gets a seat at the table and gets lessons. It's time to get tutoring to the parts of you that feel like less than you, so that they get to have their lessons and come to the table too. And then all of you is at the table, rather than just the parts that you think really work nicely and you're okay to share. Meanwhile, everybody else is in the closet. Let's stick them in the closet. Nobody can see that. And it's like, meanwhile, they're like, hey, everybody, I'm over here in the closet. Hook me up, right? So don't put your shit in the closet. You are woo-tastic and creative, and you're magical, and you have access to that, and you don't have any excuses or reasons anymore to put that in the closet. In fact, you're going to keep spiraling and spinning and in your monkey mind and Groundhog Day until you let that stuff come to the table, right? I've seen it too many times. Why do I like what I do? I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. And I love what I do because it does come to me naturally, and it pushes me every day into areas that don't come naturally to me. And I love to share my fuck-ups and my wins. I'm very authentic, especially as you work with me one-to-one. I get real down and dirty and tell you the truth of my experience, because, hey, we're all rising up into our best here. We're all asking more of ourselves. We're all learning to be more vibrant and luminous through choices of nutrition, fitness, grounding, centering, awakening, connection, community, and rising up to the challenge of bringing our genius to the table. Because when you bring the genius in, that's when you begin to connect in with the people that have been calling you. That's when you tap into the parts of yourself that you think don't work, but they actually do, and they have been working for you. You feel me? All right. Did I miss anybody that wanted a question card, that shared the live stream? And thank you for letting me have a little fun on this Friday. I've been doing some really powerful, potent live streams this week. I want you to take a look at the energy that's coming through. I've been describing the process of how I work. And I'm really, really looking forward to inviting in the few of you who will be working with me one-to-one in Overflow. There's an application on Valtopia.com. As soon as you fill that out and we are aligned, we can get started this weekend, and we can begin to really look at your business, at your creative gifts, at your energy, at your behavioral patterns, at your life. We're gonna do a full assessment in that first session, and you're gonna unplug from a whole bunch of shit and begin to create space in your body and being to allow the next level you that is integrated, that is activated into your genius, that is tapped into your vision, that does know your purpose, that does feel certain and confident about who you are and why you're here and what you desire for your life and for your business. And then we do the work of calibrating into that highest level vision of you that you meet in that first session more and more and more. Hey, Rosella. Hey, Ronnie. Thank you, Della. Would you like a card? How do you know what your gifts are? Well, this is the work that we do in my one-to-ones. But for me, I discovered my gifts by listening to myself and spending time with myself. And I'm not going to lie, that was a really hard thing to do for me at first. The reason it was hard at first is because I was married, I had 2 kids, I was working a full-time job, and my husband was always at work. That was the first reason it was hard, okay? That was the resistance for me at one point. I just didn't actually have any time to myself ever. And when I finally did get a chunk of time to myself, I invested in myself. And the first $100 I spent on myself freaked me the fuck out. I remember waking up in the night feeling really guilty for spending $100 on myself. And that was the best $100 I ever spent. And I kept spending and investing, and I've kept growing, and I've met more and more incredible people, and I've discovered more and more my natural gifts. And my natural gifts, if you have the privilege of investing in yourself, if you take the action of deciding this is my life and I want to do this work, then you get to be in a space with me, and my gifts are easy. It's easy. I tune into my clients and instantly shift and open and align their chakras. We tone, I sing, I just do it all through my own intuitive process. Yes, I have studied energy modalities and I've gotten some certifications, and there's some of those techniques that I love to use in my work, but most of the work that I do is just natural, and that's what I encourage and invite and open up with my clients. They're natural, inherent ways of being that you've been ignoring or denying or just completely oblivious, that's actually your gift, and that's what's going to make your life so much more smooth and integrated. And the brilliance you have on your logistical side and your practical side needs to be married in with this natural inherent part of you that allows the electricity in your body to channel and awaken and illuminate. And that's when magnetism and exciting things happen. That's when you interact in synergies and synchronicities, and gorgeous stuff starts to happen. So Della's looking for a card. Lauren says your greatest challenge is your gift. What you think you're not good at, you have the potential to be the best. Della says I have bought tarot cards, crystal balls, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff, isn't it? And that's where I started too, with some essential oils and cards. And you can come into my free group in Valtopia, and there's a lot of mystics and healers and coaches and leaders and creatives and curious people in there. And but my work is right now, this program that I'm offering, Overflow, is for high-level business owners who are making 10 to 15K a month and are really thinking I should be making 20, 25K, and I want to use my intuition, and I have these really cool ideas, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to tell my audience. I'm afraid to tell my clients this part of me. I don't want to look like a fool. I get freaked out when I think about doing it. I'm afraid I'm going to screw it up. I think I have to get another certification. Like, there's all these different reasons. Thank you, Ronnie. There's all these different reasons why brilliant business owners choose to stay stuck in an old way of being and not tap into what's really accessible. And what you'll find if you don't tap in and you just keep taking those certifications is that you will stay in a place where you're second guessing yourself, you're looking outside of yourself for validation, and you're spending a lot of money investing in courses that you never implement. And it's because you're not tapped into and grounded into your own fucking modality and your own magic that is brilliant. I don't teach you modalities and teach you how to do other people's shit. We get into who you are and what's your thing. What's your jam? Now, how are we going to implement this? How are we going to put this onto your business and align it to who are you calling it? Like, all the things. We go through it together, because I understand how it is to get stuck in your mind and into sort of a state of PTSD about your business and your investments, and to not know how to, like, calm down and get in your body and work through the stuff that starts to kind of tweak you, you know? It's a lot of pressure being an entrepreneur and creating a freedom business and breaking paradigms and changing the world, right? And so you can get into a weird state where you're like, well, this is working and I don't want to fuck with it. Nah, that's not why we started this. We started this to grow and evolve and to break the status quo and to bring through a change. Yes, Ronnie, you want a question? You want to ask a question, or you want a question card? And Ronnie said, where I saw something up here. I don't see it anymore. I thought Ronnie had a comment, but I don't see it. Okay. Did you want a question card, Ronnie? And then is it Della? Let's see what your energy reflects to the community tonight. Oh, ask me the question, Ronnie. Tell me. Della, why is it so easy? This is one of my favorite questions to ask, especially when it doesn't feel easy? Why is it so easy to find my car keys? Why is it so easy to write the sales page? Why is it so easy to connect in with my most beautiful, loving soulmate, right? Are you really ready this time? What does that mean? Is that like, are you asking me like I'm a fortune teller and I'm going to tell you if you're ready? Is that what's going on here, Ronnie? What do you feel? And what are you getting ready for? And I'll pull a question card for you. Oh, Ronnie said, y'all want to do this. Val is incredible. Thank you, Ronnie. I love you. Yeah, I can't wait to work with my next people one-to-one because of my own clarity and my own standards about who gets to come into this container and work with me and what we're being called to in this container and the level of commitment I am inviting and expecting of these clients that are coming through. Putting your art out there. Well, you always can put your art out there whether you're ready or not, right? That's part of the process. You just put it out there, and if you're ready or not, what does the ready have to do with it? What is the ready? What do you need to be ready for? Oh, to take care of your health? Well, I mean, what is putting your... Like you think it's going to make you feel bad, or... That's a choice, right? Look, you got a bunch of cards here. How do I feel when I am spiritual, Ronnie? Which means tune into the faith. How do I feel when I am creative? Why am I successful? Why can I live in luxury? And how do I feel when I like what I do? So those are some good question card responses energetically to you putting your art out there. You want to follow your intuition. And you want to believe in yourself, and you want to put it out there, and you want to be creative and let your inspiration guide you about it. So my health gets, oh my God, I guess I'm ready, right? Right? All right. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to go have myself a Friday evening. I'll be around this weekend before the Thanksgiving week next week. I'm going to have my kids all week and be at my parents' place in the desert. I'm sure I will be streaming and, of course, sharing amazing, powerful content every day. I'm really going to be talking about my process more, which I think is really fascinating. My new coach, her name is Samoa, and she's incredible. I fucking love her. She's very detailed and going really deep dive with me. And we are discovering, like, when you're going through a crazy ass divorce and you're a single mother and you're building a business, international virtual business, and you're learning about your own gifts and taking all these classes and traveling around the world like I have been for the last couple years, you can forget all the amazing stuff that has happened, all the incredible transformation and all the, like, I've had some mind-blowing time after time experiences with my clients. I just keep, we forget to celebrate and tune in. So I'm going to be sharing the celebrations and the client transformations that I've had and the incredible results and the process so that you can know if this is for you. I'm going to be showing up a lot in full force. I fully believe in what I'm doing, and I know this is meant for you as you're called, and I'm very selective about who's coming in. There's an application process. You go to Valtopia.com, fill out the application. If we're aligned, we get started right away. And look, it's almost 2020. There's never been a better time for you to look at your business and your life and your habits and your feelings and to integrate all of it into a really powerful, potent stream of you and let your genius come through. Let it be efficient. Let it be easy. Let it come from overflow. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Go to Valtopia.com. Check it out. Thank you guys for sharing my live stream. You can share the replay, and if I have time, maybe I'll come in post a picture of one of these cards for you. Thank you so much for showing up in the Valtopia sphere. Own your frequency, supernova. There's nobody like you. See you next time.